Welcome to another highly questionable Football Monday. Look how excited these guys are. Football Monday. Izzy, what did you like on the show today? What do you like on the show?
It's just me or the Saints being this good take a little bit away from tonight's Monday Night Football game.
No, dale, papi.
Were the Saints out of line for going for it on 4th and 7 while up 31?
All right. Really? This is what we're going to do after the Saints played that way yesterday, destroyed the defending champions. We're going to talk about the middle finger of Malcolm Jenkins instead of all the body parts of those Saints who look overwhelming. Malcolm Jenkins not happy in this situation because they're already up the way they're up. And, of course, the person being beaten on that play, Malcolm Jenkins. That's right. He doesn't like the way that one feels. But, Izzy, you know I am a fanboy for Aaron Rodgers. No one has ever played the position the way Drew Brees is playing it right now. The windows he's throwing into are crazy. If you look at the advanced metrics, no quarterback this year had completed 6 passes into these tight windows. Drew Brees yesterday completed 9 of them for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. The precision with which he's throwing has not been seen before in this sport.
It's absolutely crazy, and it's giving Sean Payton the type of confidence that he's now messing with DBs left and right. Last week he had Marcus Peters all upset because he called him out. This week he's got Malcolm Jenkins giving him the finger after that call, and I'm not sure what that was. You want to give the Saints reasons as to why they're going for it on 4th down there, but here's what it felt like. It felt like it was a message about last year saying, hey, if Minnesota doesn't beat us with a miracle, we would have won the Super Bowl. It felt like a message about this year. Hey, and I almost had to remind myself that the Eagles were Super Bowl champs. Their season has been so blah. And it says, hey, we're not only better than you, we're going to rub it in this year as well. The Saints are ridiculous. They're playing with Golden State Warriors type confidence right now.
What do they have to fear about running up the score if indeed they were? That you're going to outscore them in the next one?
Right.
This thing looks unstoppable, especially in a dome at home, and it looks like all the playoff games are going to be going through that dome at home.
Can I say something to the city of Philadelphia?
You're going to do it whether we give permission or not, so go ahead.
Eat it. You won last year, so stop the whining.
All right,
eat it again.
There you go. Eat it. There you go. Sophisticated analysis from my father. Oh, and look at that. A little bonus shimmy.
Bigger deal, the injury to Alex Smith or the 7th straight win by the Texans?
Football is cruel, so Alex Smith is out there for first place Washington, and then with Joe Theismann in a skybox, a gruesome injury befalls Alex Smith. But I think we all know that Washington wasn't going anywhere special this year, is playing a substandard brand of football compared to the top-tier teams in the league. Here's the thing about Houston, though. The rest of their games are against sub-500 teams. This is exactly the kind of team that if you're trying to bother the Patriots in the playoffs, and all we're talking about here is the AFC, if you're trying to bother them, this is the kind of team that can do it. I'm not excited about the Texans either. I'm just telling you that they're more likely to beat the Patriots than the Steelers are, because the Steelers know the Patriots are their daddy.
Yeah, as gruesome and sad as that Alex Smith injury was, if you look at the Vegas sports books, they're not even anticipating much of a drop-off between Alex Smith and Colt McCoy. And if you're looking for a serviceable quarterback who's probably not going to give away the ball a bunch, maybe Colt McCoy is that guy. But it's certainly not going to elevate them, and they weren't going to be great, as you said, Dan, anyway. This Houston team, if you really pay attention to it, not only have they been playing well, not only do they have that Deshaun Watson at quarterback who can have a great game, they have that star power. They have star power healthy. They have Watt. They have Clowney. They have Hopkins. They have all these guys that can make the big play when necessary. And when you're talking about slowing down, let's say, a KC offense, those guys that interrupt play are the guys that you need.
Oh. Washington has no problems whatsoever. They just signed somebody that is going to take them to the Super Bowl.
All right,
that guy has a hot hand. I'm telling you, he's full of tricks. You know what I mean? That guy is the creator of the butt fumble, Mark Sanchez. He's ready to go. He has been waiting for this opportunity to come through. I'm telling you, Mark Sanchez is back in town. He's back in the league.
Wow.
What happened? What happened, dude? I don't know. What happened?
His Latin bias is so intense that he wants to support Mark Sanchez, but he couldn't do it without laughing.
Who really blew it for the Panthers, Cam Newton or Riverboat Ron?
I know that the math suggests that you're supposed to kick the extra point and take your chances with the randomness of overtime. I love that Ron Rivera says, no. One play for the game. Let's do this here. I trust my offense. But when this play goes like this, he's going to get a lot of criticism because he went against the math, and that play was open, Izzy. And I know he was trying to get it over. He didn't want it batted at the line of scrimmage, which is what made him do that. But that footwork's bad, and that's imprecise. And in that league, that's the difference between winning that game and losing at Detroit.
And what did Ron Rivera really have to lose there when you think about it, right? That's the type of game, bouncing back from last week. You come back all the way to the end against the Lions team, and you say, you know what, I'm going to take this risk. We're going to win. That's how you would bounce back from last week. And if you lose, okay, you weren't winning that division anyway. The Saints are running away with it. And you have Cam Newton there, like you mentioned, wide open. Guy coming across the middle, should have made that play. He's taking the blame. I've got to make that play, Cam Newton says. So Ron Rivera doesn't lose anything in that locker room. In fact, they probably support him even more the next time he makes this risky a decision, even though the numbers say he shouldn't have.
Should the Bears defense scare teams like the Rams and Saints?
The Saints and the Rams do not fear, except perhaps when they look in the mirror. So the Bears win, and we're obligated to talk about it because they caved in Minnesota's offensive line, which a lot of people have done this season. Here's the only reason to pay attention to the Bears, because we know they're not as good as the top of this conference. They cause more turnovers with that defense, making plays the way offenses do than any team in the league. If that is indeed an ability, Chicago seems to have it, because there's not another defense in the league that takes the football from you the way this one does.
It's got to be sad being the Minnesota Vikings in that game, watching this happen. Last year, they were that defense. They were the defense that, hey, just give me a capable quarterback. I'm going to make a run to the conference championship. They thought they upgraded at quarterback, and now they see the Bears kind of pass them with the same formula and even more disruptive defense. But in terms of whether you have to worry about this team, yes, just the takeaways is what really matters. Like, not only do you have Khalil Mack in that defensive line, obviously making life difficult for quarterbacks, but they forced interceptions. They lead the league in interceptions this year, 2 more, 18 than they had all of last year. So if you can take the ball away from the other team, it doesn't matter who you're playing. They've got a good shot. And as long as you keep Trubisky safe, in the first half against the Vikings, made smart plays, left the pocket. It was well designed. Don't let him make too many mistakes. This could be that team with the great defense and the quarterback that goes pretty darn far.
Is it a big deal that John Gruden and Derek Carr were bickering on the sideline?
This is such a sports content question because you don't care about what was happening with Raiders and Cardinals unless perhaps we could show you video of a former high-paid ESPN employee who is now a current high-paid NFL employee on the sidelines bickering with his star young quarterback who also makes a whole lot of money. And John Gruden, if you're familiar with his work from many, many years ago, used to have these blow-ups all the time with Rich Gannon. His quarterback relationships are funny. He gets frustrated. They're like marriages. Sometimes you get frustrated with your spouse.
You got to ask yourself, if you're a Raiders fan or if you're a free agent thinking about going to the Raiders, what exactly is John Gruden good at? Because so far, his relationships aren't great in that locker room. He's trading away Khalil Mack, trading away Amari Cooper. He's supposed to be an offensive guru. The offense isn't doing anything. He's supposed to be a quarterback guru. Those guys are at odds. And even though, like Dan said, he's been at odds with quarterbacks in the past, I'm not sure what it is you have faith in him going forward. If he can't develop Derek Carr a little further and help him become the player that we thought he was going to be, then I don't know why you brought John Gruden in there, and I don't think a lot of people will have faith in him for the next, 9 years of that contract.
9 years and 4 games. 9 years and 4 or 5 games, that's all.
Come on, man. Let's stop giving John Gruden a hard time. Now, he won the game. Now he has 2 wins. You know what I mean? He used to have 1. Now he got 2.
That's
you know,
true.
I tell you one thing, John Gruden,
up.
don't listen to these experts. That's it. Don't listen to them.
Up, big boy.
That's right. That's right.
Twice
you got
the
2.
victories. Yes.
And you're in a row now. There's no tell how many more you're going to get. You know what I mean? That's right. Don't listen to these experts at all.
Right up there with Hugh Jackson.
Coming up next on Highly Questionable, the winner is going to be...
Yeah. Nude marbles. Next question, please.
My Son's TV show is brought to you by Cuervo Tradicional. Please drink responsibly.
Technology Truths, brought to you by Geico. Technology Truths. Truth. Teenagers can communicate entirely in emojis.
How was the birthday party? Pizza slice, kitten, soccer ball,
Pineapple? Truth. It's so easy to switch and save on car insurance at Geico.com.
What are you talking about? Paperclip, shoulder shrug, high five, wizard hat? What?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Time for more football. It's going to blow your mind.
Not really.
Was Lamar Jackson good enough to take Joe Flacco's job?
As a quarterback, Lamar Jackson was a very good running back yesterday. He was very effective against the Bengals. They beat him running what looked like a rudimentary offense, almost collegiate in nature. I was expecting it to be a little more sophisticated than this, but they used him as a running back. And Marvin Lewis said after the game, that's not sustainable. And I think he's right, even though he's a bad messenger, because that seemed unsafe out there. Lamar Jackson can't play that physically out there without getting hurt. But for one day at least, it was enough to beat the Bengals, which isn't saying much without A.J. Green.
It does speak to Lamar Jackson's talent when you know going in he's probably not going to throw the ball that much. They're going to run something of an offense that is just an extension of the packages that they've run with him so far this season, and he can still take that talent and give you 100-plus yards rushing as a quarterback, and it is the largest rushing load for a quarterback since like 1960 or something. It's kind of ridiculous. Now, the Cincinnati Bengals not being able to stop that for one game isn't that damning. It's just like surprising a team with the Wildcat, right? You can go an entire game and have success offensively that way. But Marvin Lewis's comment was hilarious. You know, these quarterbacks won't be able to run like this forever, right? So 10 years from now, when Marvin Lewis is still somehow the Cincinnati Bengals head coach, maybe Lamar Jackson won't be as fast.
Still with 0 playoff wins, by the way. The Bengals will just keep extending him. But as it relates to Lamar Jackson and simple speed, I am not used to watching an NFL game and seeing a guy at quarterback who can get the edges, get that step on the corners. Guys usually can't do that at the NFL level. That is simply a collegiate thing. He's faster than anyone he's playing against.
Well, there is only one way between Lamar Jackson and Jose Flacco to settle this issue. Who will be the starting quarterback? That'll be in the octagon, mano a mano. Each quarterback, naked down to, no clothes, no anything, you cannot hide anything, This is for all the marbles. It's going to be the start moving forward.
All right.
The winner is going to be...
Yeah. Nude marbles. Next question, please.
Is Andrew Luck getting the respect he deserves?
Okay, earlier this season, this show, like many out there, was wondering whether he could throw at 50 yards. And we spent about, 16 months making jokes at the expense of his doctors about short passes. And now, in 7 straight games, he has thrown 3 touchdowns or more. He looks like Andrew Luck would look with a good offensive line and health. That offensive line has been exceptional, the best he's had in Indianapolis, and what you've seen is Andrew Luck at the height of his power.
My favorite part of the game yesterday was when they had graphics up on the screen counting up from the last time Andrew Luck was sacked. It was Bizarro World Indianapolis Colts game because this team has always given up Andrew Luck to the defensive line, and now he's not getting sacked at all. And it makes you wonder, when you've got Andrew Luck, we've always known he was this talented. It seems like the shoulder injury isn't a problem anymore. Obviously, the offensive line doesn't seem to be a problem anymore. And you've got creative Frank Reich as your coach giving you this offense. We're about to see, it feels like, the peak Andrew Luck for the next few years, and it seems like it's going to be a lot of fun.
I don't know what is the big deal. I think that he's getting lucky.
Really? That's right, he says. As if he nailed it.
He nailed that delivery.
Yeah.
Is Keenan Allen's description of the Chargers most accurate?
The Chargers can beat anyone on the road in the playoffs. They're probably going to have to go on the road. They're great on the road. You know why? Because when they're at home, they're on the road. And yesterday, they lose on the road at home to the Denver Broncos because they don't have any kind of home field advantage playing in Los Angeles. Let's hear what their wide receiver had to say.
I don't think they play well at all. We dominated the game. Turnovers, we gave them some points, and that's what happened. They suck.
I mean, that's the type of honesty you have to have sometimes. When you commit 14 penalties for 120 yards, you're not going to win many of those games. When you turn the ball over, like he mentioned, you're not going to win any of those games. And the frustration gets doubled or tripled when you give up a drive that starts at the Denver Bronco 8 and gives up with no timeouts and gives up the game-winning field goal. And you're supposed to be a great defense there. So that reaction wasn't so much about the Broncos. It was more frustration that they didn't do what they were supposed to do.
Well, the last time I saw an LA team choke like that, LeBron was at the free throw line. That's right.
Every chance.
Runs in LA, so, I'm going to tell you, Well, LeBron is in LA, and the Chargers are in LA.
Oh, that's why. I get it. It was my fault. It was funny, but I just didn't have the brilliance that you need to sort of take it apart. It's because I'm incompetent.
Idiot.
And communist.
You know about Blink motion-activated security cameras. Amazing technology for detecting anyone sneaking around your home or trying doors, and of course, monitoring holiday package deliveries. Blink is inviting ESPN listeners to score massive savings during its Black Friday Cyber Monday event. Go to blinkprotect.com/radio and sign up for an alert when the sale starts. That's blinkprotect.com/radio. Or hit Amazon.com and search Blink Security. Blink is an Amazon company.
Highly questionable. This broadcast from the Clevelander Hotel on beautiful South Beach, Miami. Time to play the game that would bathe in gravy. Do you question?
Hopefully after he serves it to us. You give us topics and events and we question.
Do you question Marker new free throw routine?
Did you see him wince around that question? You saw him wince, right? Because he says that word in a way that I'm not sure you're supposed to be saying that word. Anyway, I'm sorry to laugh because this seems a little bit cruel at this point. We have documented his free throw struggles, his shooting struggles, his short-circuiting mentally struggles. That's the free throw form from last week. How about this week? Look at this. Look at what happened. And now,
it's the hot potato approach.
Yeah, but it went down. It went down. So it looks good when it goes down. He's conquered the shooting demons. Look, he does it this way, this way. And
I'm not sure if Markelle Fultz is scared of the moment or scared of the basketball. It seems like he doesn't want to touch it. He just wants to get rid of it as soon as possible. This is not going to get better for him. We are going to analyze every single time he changes his free throw routine or his shot. And if it's in his head now, it's only going to get worse.
I can't remember a lot of precedents for this in this sport where you've got something, a hitch, a mind melting, where you're like, that doesn't make any sense. This is well beyond like Shaq or Drummond not being able to make free throws even though they make them in practice. This is a mental short-circuiting that is unlike anything we've ever seen in the sport.
And yet, don't be surprised if we might go underhand from Markelle Fultz too, just like we recommended for Shaq and those other guys.
Granny style, yes, granny style jump shots from 18 feet. That'll work. Let's see if that topples Kawhi Leonard and Boston and everybody.
Oh, man, I don't know. I can't remember a worse free throw.
Score before the defense sets up.
When was this from?
That's his job.
Oh, wait a minute. He just got a Cavs uniform, and I think it was early Cavs, LeBron, just to show you an air ball from the free throw line. We have to keep him away from the video equipment.
And that LeBron's free throw reminds me of this one.
Oh, look, he's having memories now. I wonder if it's... Oh, wait a minute. That is also a very bad free throw. Yes, agreed.
I think we have to give Markelle Fultz credit for not being this guy, I guess, right?
No, I think that's a very low bar.
Do you question if Rodney McGruder made a good play?
I know what you're asking yourself out there. Who does Rodney McGruder play for these days? And that is the lament of my father as a Miami Heat fan, because he plays for the Miami Heat. But what happened here?
He misses the layup right there, and he couldn't finish it. LeBron.
In case you don't know who you were looking for, McGruder's number 17. He plays for the Miami Heat.
Yes, that is a good decision right there as LeBron James scores 51 yesterday.
Rodney Magruder is a 3-and-D guy. He's an upcoming guy in this league. He is literally going to make his money standing in front of people making plays like that, and he still got the hell out of the way because it's LeBron James and his life was at stake.
Can I say something to Ronnie Magruder?
All right. I don't know who Ronnie Magruder is, but Rodney Magruder
Rodney
is
Magruder,
all
that's
of your
right.
words.
Hey, Rodney, you had the great opportunity, the opportunity of your lifetime. He was up in the air. All you had to do is run hard between his legs.
Yeah.
And he would have done for the entire season.
Yeah,
maybe for years to come.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
yes,
That's
yes.
right. And you chicken out.
Yes, and everybody would have remembered you forever as the guy who decided to injure LeBron with a face to the crotch.
Time to play the game that love. A good cry. See? Oh, no.
You tell us what to watch on television tonight. He does. Every morning, he just cries on the bed.
Tonight on ESPN, Monday Night Football, Chiefs and Rams.
No, be still my heart. Look at this. Everybody's excited about this, right? I'm lightheaded about this game tonight. Jared Goff got lightheaded the other day. He was audibling during the game. Listen to this.
And I'm telling you, he has jumped up to a really next level of quarterbacking.
And there you go. The sound wasn't very clear, but we helped you with those giant yellow letters. And so Halle Berry on Twitter responds to this when they say that Halle Berry's name was shouted. What is a Halle Berry? Is what she's asking Jared Goff. And now there's some emojis crying and puzzled. And then this one, it's my favorite play ever. I think it was just a jet sweep, so I don't know what that means. I think it's flirtation. I'm unsure. Izzy, are you intrigued?
I don't care that Jared Goff does not know where the sun rises and sets. That is really cool. Makes him one of my favorite quarterbacks.
What about you, Papi? Are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. You know, everybody has been talking about Jerry Goof and all this good stuff that he's doing with the Halle Berry and what have you, but there is one guy that has been flying under the radar, and he's going to get it done tonight. His name is Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. You know, that's the real deal. He can go short, he can go deep, he can scramble out of the pocket, he can throw on the run, he can throw right-handed, left-handed, you know what I mean? He can block for you. You know, I'm telling you, he can catch the ball and run with the ball. He's the total package. Patrick Mahomes, a name that you'll never forget.
He's no Jared Goof.
That's the NFC or no?
And that's our conclusion of our show. We surprised the old man. Thanks for watching.
Take the rest of the day off.
We're getting old. Losing track of the segments. Well, how are you going? We're not done yet.
We finished, Papi.
Yeah. Well.